welcome to Biology for You. In this video, we are going to discuss capillary DNA sequencing technology. In the series of videos, we have been discussing different DNA sequencing technologies. So, coming to this capillary DNA sequencing technique, it is basically a semi-automated version of the Sanger's DNA sequencing. That means the principle of the Sanger's method is applied and that got adopted, but the methodology is much simplified and it made more efficient by this capillary DNA sequencing. So coming to the detailed process, first we need to know what is the difference between this Sanger's method and the capillary DNA sequencing. So for that, basically, as we already discussed, the principle is the same. That means here also we are going to use these chain terminators. That means during this DNA sequencing, first we need to denature the DNA. So the DNA sample is denatured into single-stranded form, and this single-stranded DNA is allowed to synthesis for its complementary strand. While synthesis of the complementary strand, we are going to add DDNTPs. So these DDNTPs are the chain terminators. That means these dideoxynucleotide triphosphates don't have the oxygen moiety at the 3' base. That means they can go and enter into the growing DNA chain as normal nucleotide, but they cannot continue the synthesis of the DNA. Thereby the DNA synthesis will stop. Hence these are called as chain terminators. So these are the nucleotides which don't have the 3' oxygen moiety. Instead these are having hydrogen. So this is the structure of the DDNTP shortly, and this is 3' position. Here it's supposed to be oxygen hydroxyl group, but instead of, the oxygen is removed so that dideoxynucleotide phosphate acts as a terminator. So because of the presence of this 5' oxygen, they can form phosphodiester bond with the preceding nucleotide, but with the upcoming nucleotide they cannot form phosphodiester bond. Thereby they stop the synthesis. So they can enter the DNA chain, but they cannot proceed the further nucleotide. That means they cannot allow the further synthesis of the new strand. So thereby the synthesis will be stopped. So hence these are called as chain terminators. Generally here in the Sanger's DNA sequencing, or maybe in capillary DNA sequencing, these chain terminators are used. So the DNA synthesis will stop at many regions, and all these fragments obtained from these chain terminators reactions are allowed to separate on the gel matrix, and the banding pattern will determine the sequence of the DNA. So that is the basic principle in the capillary DNA sequencing as well. So but the difference between this capillary sequencing and Sanger's DNA sequencing is that here, instead of using 4 reaction tubes as per in the Sanger's method, here we are going to use single reaction tube. That means all 4 types of DDNTPs will be added into the single reaction tube. But The only difference is here DD and TPs are labeled. 4 types of DD and TPs are labeled with 4 different tags, color tags. So based on the fragment type of the DD and TP that is going to be added at the end of the fragment, that produce different signal. So 4 kinds of signals will be obtained in a single reaction tube. Hence within a single reaction tube we can obtain the sequence of the DNA. And coming to the second point, second difference, here we are going to use capillary gel electrophoresis. So unlike the conventional gel electrophoresis which generally adopted for the Sanger's method, here we are going to use capillary gel electrophoresis because this capillary gel has porous matrix which can more efficiently resolve the bands. Even in the capillary gel electrophoresis, the very similar size bands, that means maybe the 2 bands differs with the single nucleotide length. That means very short differences can also be easily resolved, can also be easily visualized with this capillary gel electrophoresis. Hence it is more efficient method and appropriate method than the Sanger's DNA sequencing. So these two are the basic differences with this capillary DNA sequencing. So here let us go detail into the whole procedure of the capillary DNA sequencing. So first we will be started with the isolation of the DNA. So for doing any DNA sequencing experiment, first we need to isolate the DNA from experimental organism. Maybe we need to isolate from a PCR product, maybe from the clone of a genomic library, like that. Whatever may be the source, we need to isolate DNA in its pure form. And secondly, we need to go for fragmentation. So these large DNAs need to be fragmented into short processable fragments. So using restriction endonucleases, we can make them into short fragments. So thirdly, we need to denature them. So capillary sequencing is a kind of sequencing based on synthesis method. That means here we need to synthesize the complementary strand before we are going to sequence the DNA. So here we need to first denature the DNA into single strands so that the complementary strand can be synthesized. So for that we need to go for denaturation. So fourthly, we need to go for amplification. So for amplification, here we are going to use DNTPs, primers, Taq polymerase, and DDNTPs. So these are the basic essentials, and here the 4 types of DDNTPs are added in the single reaction tube. So hence the sequence will be terminated at every individual nucleotide length, and the number of fragments will be obtained with various lengths, and that is the amplification. Once after this PCR reaction is carried, we need to separate them through capillary gel electrophoresis. So here all this reaction mixture fragments obtained from the PCR amplification need to be loaded onto the capillary gel. So if we, as we discussed, if we have a 4 labels, that means these fluorescent labels are attached onto the 4 types of DDNTPs, and when the PCR reaction is carried, these fragments will be obtained because of the termination event. So if the tags are like that, that means if DDATP is tagged with a red color fluorescent protein, then if DDGTP is with blue, DDCTP with pink, with green, and DDTTP with black. All these colors what we adopted is only for our convenience or understanding the experiment here. And so if we have taken this set of DDNTPs and we carried the experiment, if we have a banding pattern like this, maybe so what if a banding pattern what we obtained will be like this. Once after, generally this following by this gel electrophoresis, the laser beam will be allowed to pass through this gel electrophoresis tube, and detector will detect the signal, and followed by the graph will be obtained. That means the graph is similar to this. So for the gel electrophoregram like this, we may obtain the graph like this. So here this graph indicates there is a 2 nucleotides. This blue color codes for the DDGTP. So here 2 GG are there, and this green indicates the C, red indicates the A, C, A, C, A, C, A, and black indicates the T, blue indicates the G. So if we have a signal like this, graph like this, the possible sequence may be GG, CA, 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 TG. So that is how the capillary DNA sequencing actually works. That means here these 4 kinds of DDNTPs will produce a signal, 4 kinds of signals in the same gel electrophoregram, and here this laser beam helps us to produce the signal, and detectors have the computerized system, and they will produce this kind of graph which determines the sequence. So these peaks indicate the every peak indicates one nucleotide, type of nucleotide present in the sequence. So that is how the whole capillary sequencing will works.